So people, have a listen to the sound of this. So people, great sound, great contact, and that consistency of strike. In this video, we're going to be having a look at the elbows, the hands and wrists, and how they really move in the golf swing. This is going to help your delivery, your direction, your shaft lean at impact to improve your all-round consistency, and finally stop flipping that club head in and around impact. Later in the video, we've got the PGA Tour drill. Can't wait to show you that one. People, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Right, let's get started. So people, the important message here to get across to everyone is setting up your wrist alignments on the way back. Not only is it a speed accumulator, but it makes the downswing so much easier. So we're going to have a look at the wrist alignment here, the 50-degree PGA rule, the average on tours. Before we move on to part two, which is some great drills and exercises and feels and how to deliver this club head perfectly into the back of the golf ball. Let's go through some basic checkpoints here. Swinging back and getting the club parallel to the ground here. When I look at the club face should be pointed at 11 o'clock my side and 1 o'clock your side if there was a clock over this club face. That will bring my right wrist in a position that looks like this. You see the angle in it. Now when I toe the club up to 12 o'clock and you see the angle in that trail wrist, it's gone. And this is not a good position. This has a devastating effect on your entire backswing and how we tilt and turn to the top. This is the area that we need to get into. Now, the second part is when the left arm is simply parallel to the ground here. This is a great visual aid, a great way to feel this position. When we get up into this position, it's where the right hand points, this trail hand. Let's have a look at that just quickly here, because once you get this part right, you're setting up a wonderful chain reaction on your swing. That's 90 degrees, people, okay? 90, 80, 70, 60, 45. That's also 90 degrees. Pointed over this way is 45. Now remember, I said that. Get in your address position, swing back, and if I take my right hand way and point that over, we're pointing at 45 degrees, and this is setting up this angle that we need. This is essential, controlling your club head. It controls your plane. It controls your delivery. You can think about it this way, that when you're swinging back, my side 11 here, left arm parallel, then I'm pointing the phone slightly away from me, showing someone the picture on this side over here. Another way to do it, if you imagine I'm holding a torch, I mean, it's a visual aid. I know we're not on the golf course with torches, but sometimes things like this can really help us. If I'm standing in a room and that back right-hand corner is over there and I shine the torch up in that back right-hand corner, I've got the same effect. This bulletproof right wrist position that sets off just so many great things in my swing. Now, getting up to the top, we know that the PGA average is 50 degrees. What are you? Where are you? This is an interesting way to have a look at golf training these days. It's not all old school, it's not all new school, but looking at some of the averages of movement where great players are, it really does make sense when we're looking at wonderful ball strikers. Getting up to the top of the swing and having a really good angle with your shoulder under your chin, you can position the left arm on that shoulder plane. You can position it underneath or slightly above, but when that right wrist has that angle in it, we can bring the club through the forearm, and I've got this position here. Have a look at the right wrist, okay? When I get this type of position, I've lost the angle, I'm coming in steep, the face is now opening up. Have a look at the right wrist angle. This is the part of the swing that's essential to stay on top of it and get that shaft lean. Now there's another great way to feel this right hand position at the top. Now the other way you can do it is use mechanics to create feel. Use mechanics to create feel, right? Have a look at this. So if we know that the PGA average is at 50 degrees, 45, 50 at the top here, watch this. We get up to the top of the swing. Right, now bring this club down. And if we keep it around 45 to 50, this is where the great players are. And if you're not in that zone, well, you know, you need to know about it. And look, I love old school. Leave your comments underneath, because I think technology, if you use it great, it's awesome. Like if there's averages in the swing and that's where great players are and you're not there, well, that doesn't make any sense. Especially now, it's 2024, we've got the data, right? We've got the information. We show people that on WorldClassGolf.com, we've got the data. Where are you, right? So it's not for everyone, I understand that, but I'm using it, all my students are using it, and literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the world are using this hack motion, this trail wrist. You can measure everything, chipping, putting, wedges. What I'll do for those of you interested, because it's such an awesome device, I'll put a discount code in the description underneath, but leave your comments underneath, because you can create feel definitely through mechanics. Awesome piece of equipment. So guys, I want to show you something that you wouldn't have seen before. I want to show you one of the secrets to the downswing here. And it's about straightening the right arm. And this has amateurs absolutely baffled, completely fooled. When we have a look at the right arm, as it slowly straightens in the downswing, it's either going to point at the ball or slightly outside the ball. When we're looking at the best ball strikers in the world, it makes sense to look at great ball strikers. Okay? Now, the arm won't be completely straight at impact, but we know for a fact that this helps shallow the plane. It brings the arms into the slot position. Now, the right arm will just be slightly bent at impact. But for so many amateur players, and I'll show you some of those in a moment, they just don't understand this move. You've got to understand how your downswing works. This is why people are getting stuck and coming steep and all sorts. The arms only just slightly bent. Really an amazing position here. But with so many amateurs, they're riding in really high with this right forearm. Look at that. Tips the club over. It ruins your wrist alignments here, people. And player after player, most of the guys are just practicing this. What we're going to do is have a look at how to get this right arm, or talk about what it does to get this right arm in the correct position. It's just one of the key elements for great ball striking. This is where I've been helping so many people online improve their downswings and their slot and impact position. Guys, send your swing through to me. Seriously. You've got contact with me at WorldClassGolf.com, and you get a bonus 1,400 videos, 80 series. It's an absolute no-brainer helping so many people. Right, let's get stuck into a fascinating exercise and drill. Can't wait to show you this. Now, what we're seeing with a lot of amateur players is when they're coming down, they've got the right forearm too high. Right, the right forearm is actually too bent, or the right arm's too bent. We're seeing it tip over a lot of the time this way, and when it doesn't tip over, they have to do funky moves and drop the club back into positions, and it's really affecting a lot of people. A lot of it comes from that drill that they're doing here, where the right arm's coming up too high. Now, if I'm coming in with the right arm too high, most times I'll come in steep. Some people can do this, but watch what happens when I straighten the right arm. Watch what happens to the plane of the club when I straighten the right arm. Now that club head now is coming in behind the hands. The right wrist has a big angle in it, but that right arm has to straighten quite a bit on the way down. And that's where people, they just turn off. They can't believe it. It's like, it's a mental barrier, if you like. It's something that they need to get past to understand at first this right arm has to straighten to help shallow out the plane. The right arm, and I've been talking about this for a couple of years, the right arm has to also connect back to the side and not be out here. The right arm has to connect, and we need a longer right arm at impact. So one of the great ways you can feel it is get down into impact. I mean, if there was a golf ball here on the ground, right? Just a little bit of common sense. I mean, the thing about common sense these days, it's really just, it's seriously not that common. Like when you're seeing people use a drill like this, it's like they're hitting off a chair or something. Now, if the golf ball's on the ground and I rewind, this is where my arm's going to be, right? It's not going to be up here somewhere. That's just ridiculous. Now, what you can do from this position here is just rewind and have a look where your right arm is. Now, the right arm is still going to be bent, but it's not like it's coming in this direction. Now, once you get that to straighten, for a lot of players out there that are getting stuck, if you're an advanced player and you're getting caught, if you're getting steep, if you're dragging it in here, if you feel like you're blocking it out to the right or flipping it to the left, this is a really important area in your swing. To sort of get the feeling of straightening your arms, take a split hand grip and just do a practice swing, and you'll sort of feel like there's a little bit of a forearm jolt. The drill that I want you to do is to lead in a little bit with the grip here and get the right hand to have a big angle. So I've got like a right angle here. Hold that position, but your right arm's quite long, right? This is the place you want to be. This is the place in the swing where the great players are. They're not up here. Do a couple of practice swings, get your feels, hit some balls. And this is one of the areas where I've been helping just so many clients online. World-class golf instructions improving golfers between 4 and 11 shots. Your swing analyst video is the same as this YouTube format, except with your swing on the screen. It goes between 15 to 30 minutes with tailored drills and exercises, a higher level of instruction at a cheaper price. 1,300 videos, 75 separate series. Reach out to us in the chat room and get on the path of playing your best golf. So folks, don't try this at home, right? We've got the knife taped to the golf club here. It's almost like a spear, but sometimes, right, we need a great or a really good visual aid and effect here. Now, what we're going to be looking at doing here, people, is getting a longer, straighter right arm, but I want to hold onto this angle of this right wrist. So what we're going to do is be driving this knife into the back of the golf ball. Now, when the left hand's under the chin, we're looking at a right angle, and from here I really have to release it. I really have to release this club head then past my body. But to get this effect, if you want to hit it a little bit more from the inside, the end of the knife would be heading more out in this direction. Here's more of your straight shot. But if we get too much internal rotation, there's a danger of sticking the knife into the front side or the inside of that left thigh. This is an interesting way to look at it. You can obviously think the butt of the club, but if you're bringing this club in nice and deep and you've got a long right arm, this is a great way to get this trail arm, this wrist, into a great position so that you can release this club head, get the correct hand motion and through the ball to propel this golf ball consistently down the line. So guys, this drill here is an absolute game changer. It's been the most important drill for my swing all round, and it helps so many people get the correct angles at impact. It's going to help your plane of your swing all round. It's going to bring this elbow out in front, and it's going to teach you how to feel this club head more. This is how we start the exercise before I'm going to hit some balls and show you. Watch this, it's important because you've got to be able to do this first. Now you can pick up a golf club if you've got one there in front of me, get on the couch and go through the video. It's a great way to do it. Now what we're going to do, I've taken the oversized club here just to illustrate this a little bit better. Now if you can imagine, like I'm standing in a swimming pool and the water's about at my belly button height, right? I'm going to swing back. The club will probably lift up over the water a little bit, but you're trying to keep it pretty much level. Now when you get back into impact, watch this. This is the key. We start off in this position, and then when you get into impact, we're going to have more shaft lean. Now the important message to get across here to everyone is the club face has to be square. Right? Then you're going to notice the feel what your left wrist, your left hand does. You're not going to bring the club back to an open position, okay, like most people out there. All right, so just swing back and then stop at impact. Just swing back and then stop at impact. Take a look down at your left wrist. Now you're going to feel like this flexed more, it's bowed more, but then through the ball, people, after impact, this lead wrist moves in around 40, 45 degrees of extension. So we're going to also get that club head to swing freely and past the body. But in this drill, the first thing is to get back and have more shaft lean than what you did at impact, and the face has to be square. Now let's hit some balls and talk about feel and how we can bring this into your golf swing. Take your address position, lift the club head up over the ball, make sure it's square. Now we're going to use about a half to 3/4 swing here. Swing back, and when you bring it into impact, I want more shaft lean than what you started at, but you have to look at that club face, feel where your left wrist is. We need 12 degrees of shaft lean at impact. It's okay if you exaggerate that a little bit here, look down at the face. You want to exaggerate it to pick up, to enhance certain feels. Swing back, back into impact, more shaft lean than when you started at. And the great way, the thing that it does is it shallows and it'll bring the club through your trail forearm. You don't really want to have the club coming too much through both your forearms unless you're sort of trying to fade the ball, then it's okay. All right, we're going to hit one. And keep it soft. It's almost like you're flicking a towel. It looks like, I've done a video on that before when we're painting a wall here, right? We've got a paintbrush and we're working this hand back and we're getting into impact, and then we're going to let it go, right? We know that the lead wrist is going to let go. It's going to go into 45 degrees of extension. This right wrist is in deflection. We've got to get this hands and wrists moving more effectively. Let's do a practice swing into impact. Just a little half swing here. all right, not a bad strike on that. And you'll start to feel like certain things in your swing might happen by themselves. There might be a little bit more extension through your chest or whatever feeling. Have a little swing first, back in, more shaft lean than where you started. Keep it nice and soft. And what a wonderful way. You can then pick it up and use more swing, more turn, more power. Use your wedges, your 9s, your 8s to start with. Guys, I can't recommend it. Film your swing. Get stuck into that. Film your swing on your mobile phone. Have a look at that, what it does to your impact position. Without a doubt, one of the best drills. In fact, send your swing through to me. I'm teaching people from all around the world. Don't do it yourself. You want me to analyze your swing. I'm improving so many people. We do it together. You get my cell phone. We write messages back and forth. It's a real personal service, and it's just helping so many people. That is my favorite drill of all time, and that improves everyone's lag, ball striking, and compression. Wonderful way to go about improving your golf.